right, today we are going to replace one of the internal components on a 1022 trigger assembly. It's the TandemKross Guardian auto bolt release for the 1022. Also works in the Ruger Charger trigger groups as well. But basically this is the little plate that you push with your finger to lock the bolt back. And in a factory configuration, you also have to pull the bolt back and then let this back down to get the bolt back forward. It's not a very ideal setup. I don't know why Ruger does this. There must be some reason, but basically almost everybody makes this plate to allow it, as soon as you pull the bolt back, it will drop and allow you to go forward. Makes mag changes and everything much faster. So this is from TandemKross. Once again, it's called the Guardian Auto Bolt Release. I also picked up, while I had this order going in, I got this safety tool from Gunsmither Tools, but you can get it directly from TandemKross as well. And this is a specialized tool to get the safety levers out, and there's some set springs and all that in there that makes this much more of a difficult part to do without the proper tools. It's got a punch system and specialized ends and detents to get all that out. Thankfully, I don't need to take that out right this moment, but I am going to use this punch tool to get these two pins out. So these are the pins. Once you get this trigger group out, which I think everybody knows how to do, you basically take these two pins out of the receiver and the whole unit drops out of the receiver. And then these two pins are the pins that will need to be removed to get this plate out and swapped around. So the first thing to do is take this top pin out left to right. And basically, once that pin is out, you'll see that this spring that was riding underneath it is free to move. You're going to move that up out of the way because it's going to need to clear. And then this part here is available to come out. So that pin is all the way out. Now the bottom pin, only take out so far just to clear this metal plate, because in the bottom here, it also goes through the magazine release. And you don't want to be jerking around with that if you don't have to. Just take it out just enough to clear this, but stay in the mag catch. So you're also going to move left to right. And actually, in my perspective, you probably can't see it in the camera's view, but if I look straight down this trigger body, I can see the light colored tabletop here, and I can see that pin. So I know if I am far enough through and just enough. So I am clear of this metal plate, but I'm still in the mag catch. So the tool there, the bolt release has a little tab on it, so you have to clear that. That's why we rotated the spring up out of the way. But simply getting it up out of the way, and we will pull it straight out of the body. I'm gonna set this off to the side for just 1 second to show you what's actually different and why this works. So let's open this up. And in the bag, we have the plate. Got their engraved logo on it, so you know where it came from, I guess. And if you look at these two pieces on there, this little goofy shaped heart cutout is what's locking it. So once you do that, it's resting in those notches, and then that's why you have to pull the bolt back and then get it up off this notch to fall in the other way. You'll see the geometry is different on the TandemKross piece compared to this setup here. And that simple change, they also changed this one slightly different. It looks like it just pivots on this versus moving up and down with this here, because this is your pivot point on the pins. Just changed it slightly, and that simple change there makes it work. There are instructions online on how to grind out your notch here to make this work the same. Honestly, for the $10 that this costs, I think it's totally worth it just to dump that OEM part, get this part in there, and don't even worry about it. But it's up to you and your financial situation. So basically, we're going to stick it in here. We're going to slip it down, and it will lay flush with the top of the receiver. And if you look down in this hole, you'll see the pinhole start lining up. And you just got to finagle that just a little bit so where that lines up, and where you can get that pin to seat again. So there, you see I pulled that pin back to the left, looking down on it. So now it's pivoting, but it has no spring tension. So this notch on the plate that goes perpendicular to the bore. You just got to flip that spring around, and that leg, the bent leg of the spring, seats down in there. And then I like to spin it around and hold the spring down with my thumb to get the pin over it. So now we have spring tension. And we just got to get this piece back in, and it simply goes on there. And it goes through the notch on the plate. And it looks like I got to get it lined up. There we go. Get that down in there. And we are fully functioning again. All the pins are in. And you can kind of see basically it just pivots now. So when you push that up, the bolt is going to come and ride against that. And as soon as you pull the bolt back, let go, it lets go, and the bolt will go forward. With the factory part, this would have, let's see, it would have been this way. It would have locked up, and then it wouldn't have caught, so then you would have to pull it back and then push it back up from the bottom to get it to back drop down in that position. So old part, new part. It's $10 at TandemKross. I think this tool's $15, I believe. You check the links in the bottom. I've got a link to both things. Get your own. You can also use a pin punch, but this tool has so many other uses for the 1022 that I think it's worth having. But yeah, check it out at TandemKross and make your bolt changes much, much easier.